Leah reporting there. Libya's rebel forces have surrounded the Colonel Gaddafi-held desert town of Bani Walid, southeast of Tripoli, saying talks with the former leader's loyalists have failed. Gaddafi's troops have been given until Saturday to surrender, with rebels now preparing a final assault. For more, I'm joined by our artist Maria Finoshina, who is in Libya. So, Maria, it looks like a final countdown for Gaddafi's remaining troops in Libya. And with the rebel forces still assisted by NATO airstrikes, the question is, why is it taking so long?
Well, fighting in the area known as Bani Walid, southeast of the capital Tripoli, continues despite the recent claims by the new government's interior minister to take control over what's thought to be Gaddafi's main and Gaddafi's last stronghold within 24 hours. This battle is indeed very important for the rebels, actually for both sides. This is a decisive one in terms of ending a 6-month-long conflict here in Libya. The rebels need it because taking control of this area would officially mean the end of the regime and the colonel's fall. They've been preparing for this operation for quite a long time, with NATO helping them clean path towards it, bombing military facilities in the area in the recent days. But what we are hearing from Gaddafi's loyalists on the ground in Bani Walid makes it absolutely clear that this fight will not be easy and will actually be hard for both sides. This operation has actually started when the negotiations between the rebels and Gaddafi's loyalists on the ground on a peaceful surrender failed. Saif al-Islam has recently appeared on TV claiming that they will never surrender and they will fight till the death. Actually, that's not surprisingly, because this area, Bani Walid, has always been known as Gaddafi's stronghold, and people from this area have, since the beginning of this conflict here in Libya, been fighting against rebels all across the country and have been dying for Gaddafi, and they've all the time been supporting Gaddafi, who's provided them with very good ammunition and the best weaponry. So that's clear that it will not be easy for the rebels to take control over this area while they need it. Actually, Gaddafi, whose whereabouts have been unknown, and while the hunt for him, not surprisingly, remains the country's #1 priority, is thought to be right now with his sons in this area. This is one more reason for the rebels to take control over this area as soon as possible. Meanwhile, the rebels are afraid that Gaddafi's forces, Gaddafi's loyalists, may use people, local residents, as a human shield, and they've recently called for all people in the area still held by Gaddafi's forces to come over to its side, promising there will not be any revenge for them, and security could be guaranteed for them in that case.
Well, Maria, what about the people? How are they feeling about their first taste of freedom in the capital?
Well, the National Transitional Council has repeatedly been claiming recently that Tripoli is now secure and is now safe, and that they're working hard to try to restore order in the country, on the territory now controlled technically by National Transitional Council. But what we see on the ground actually makes us doubt that they are successful so far. Apart from humanitarian challenges the city and the country actually is currently facing, such as severe shortages of water, food, medicine and fuel, politically the situation is very unstable, and it's quite unclear who is actually controlling Tripoli right now. The city is full of armed people with an unclear agenda, many of them very young, with little knowledge of how to use weapons, and it's quite unclear who is controlling them. National Transitional Council has recently claimed that they are now trying to bring these irregular fighters under their control, but as we can see, they are not successful so far, actually.
All right, Maria, thanks very much indeed for bringing us this update from the Libyan capital, Tripoli. Maria Finoshina reporting there.